Hey everybody, Tim here with another Star Wars review. Another Ewok adventure, The Battle for Endor, came out in 1985, a year after the first movie. I actually enjoy it. I really like this movie. I mentioned in the last review, I'll just kind of reiterate super quick. I remember being a kid and watching this. I don't even know how. ABC Family, something. And absolutely loving it. It changed my life. And then it disappeared, and I never saw it again. And I had literally, I thought that I had imagined it. This kind of happened to me with two movies: this movie and Little Nemo and Slumberland. I knew all about it. I could tell you about the plot, but anybody I would talk to, nobody knew what I was talking about. And I was like, okay, so clearly I just imagined these movies. So years went by. I was walking through a Fred Meyer. And sure enough, there on the shelf, brand new. This was probably, I think, 2005-ish, somewhere in there. And sure enough, there on the shelf, a brand new 2-pack of the Ewok Adventure and the Battle for Endor. And I was like, I am not insane. I had my, William Shatner moment from The Twilight Zone. I am not insane. I was like, this is great. So instantly, boom, I bought it, went home, watched it. Turns out I had zero memory of the first one. I was like, I don't know anything about this. So it was almost like watching it for the very first time. But the second one, the Battle for Endor, that was the one that I had seen multiple times as a kid. And a lot of stuff kind of stuck with me. Mostly it was actually Teak, the Ewok that was really fast and could speed around. I don't know why, a little speedster Ewok stuck with me for 20 years, but it is what it is. And I was like, there it goes. So rewatching it as an adult, completely, different. I go back and I watch a lot of things, a bunch of cartoons, a bunch of, even live action shows, like dinosaurs or something. And you watch it and you're like, oh, this is bad. This is really bad. But it has that nostalgia, and it works, and I still can enjoy it. Watching the Battle for Endor, I actually really enjoy it, where it's you got the whole witch, and it is definitely a product of the 80s, where, you watch something like Conan the Barbarian, or Highlander, or something like that, and you watch this, and you're like, oh, those are some terrible effects. But they work, and it is what it is. So, as an adult, one of the things that did kind of bother me was the whole opening sequence. For one, the parents are different actors, and instantly, maybe it's because I just rewatched them, and I was like, oh, why? What happened in less than a year that you lost the parents to completely different actors? What happened there? Because they had small parts in the first movie, they have small parts in the second movie. Something changed in there. What was it? So I'm very curious. So if anybody for Star Wars knows, let me know. And then, so what also bothers me is what I personally call aliens syndrome, which these two movies actually came out way before, and that's fine. But it's just what I personally call it. And the reason behind that, spoiler if you've never seen the Alien franchise, is Aliens is all about saving characters. And at the end of the movie, it's Ripley, it's Michael Biehn's character, and it's Newt. That's fine. The third movie opens with Hicks and Newt dead. That's it. And it's why did I just watch an entire movie about you saving these characters for you to kill them off in the opening scene of the next movie? Also, kind of like The Fly, the second one opens with Gina Davis's character being killed off. Why? What is the point? So we went through the whole first movie of the Ewok Adventure, saving Mom and Dad, just to open this movie with Mom and Dad and Mace just being killed off. And it's why would you do that? It's really weird to me that they would just kill off these characters. You already replaced Mom and Dad, so that's kind of weird. You got the same actor as Mace, this teenage boy. Did he not want to do a whole movie? Did his parents say no? What's going on that you couldn't keep Sindel and Mace together for a whole movie? And so now you have this entire movie of this little blonde 8-year-old girl crying because her mom, dad, and her brother are dead. And it's this is heartbreaking. It is really sad. So the whole life bracelet thing kind of annoyed me a little bit. The hang glider scene, okay, great shout out to the first movie. Wilfred Brimley as Noah, terrific. Amazing actor. Everything from The Thing, which is one of my favorite top 10 movies, to Cocoon, to diabetes commercials. Like, he's a terrific actor. So he does great. And again, kind of stood out to me, like made an impression as a child because I remembered him all the way through. Teak the Speeder, Carl Strucken as like the monster, like the alien creature, which Carl Strucken, like, oh God, everything. Lurch from the Addams Family, and then recently he was actually in Doctor Sleep. Terrific actor, really tall. Star Trek The Next Generation, he was like the butler to Lwaxana Troy's character, Mr. Home. So he's been in a lot of stuff, so it was great. Which, speaking of, the whole alien race is super weird. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's been so long since I've seen it, but they almost remind me of the villains from Sliders. Like, they're just, like, not quite dinosaur creatures. But, I mean, it works. I don't know why they couldn't have done something, like, more in Star Wars continuity. But, I don't know. They just picked these random freaky monsters. Okay. The whole last part of this like movie, with it just being like Sindel being kidnapped and it just being a jailbreak, the poker scene or them playing cards and Teak like having to hide the cards made sense to me. They escape, and then Noah and Sindel get the power to leave Endor for good. Sindel does have the line of like, I'll come back and see you. Supposedly there was talk of a third one, but it never materialized. I would have totally been down for a third one. Like, I don't know. I'm that kind of guy. If it was like an Ewok trilogy, I would have lost my mind, because there's something about Star Wars and trilogies. So I would have been totally ecstatic. Overall, I think it's great. I mentioned it in the first review. I'll say it again in this one. Like, I would love to have seen Sindel return. The actress that plays her never really did anything else for, like, acting-wise. So to have her, like, just shoehorn her into, like, let's see, 7, 8, or 9, I would have been fine. I mean, like, what was it? Rogue One had a shout-out to Syndulla, the character from Rebels. It would not have been that difficult to have Sindel just kind of walk by the screen. So I don't know. We'll probably never get it. A lot of people don't like to talk about these movies. 90% or a majority of people don't think of them as continuity, or just pretend they don't even exist. I like them. I really enjoy them. I think it's kind of funny if you think about it, looking at like Return of the Jedi, Caravan of Courage, Battle for Endor. I think Warwick Davis has more screen time as Wicket than like Darth Vader is in the trilogy completely. I mean, he's only in like, what, 12 minutes of the first movie anyway? So just think about that for a second. Like, Wicket is in 3 movies more than Darth Vader is in 3 movies. Let that sink in. So, I don't know. I could be completely wrong, actually. I didn't, like, stopwatch it or anything. But I think that's kind of interesting. So, for those who have seen the Ewok movies, like I said, I really enjoy them. I think they're actually a lot of fun. What do you guys think? What do you like? What do you dislike? Go ahead, let me know, and I will see you guys next time for the Droids animated series.